Welcome back, everyone! After our first MozFest studio broadcast yesterday, you might be wondering where exactly our studio is based. Well, would you believe me if I told you that we're actually located in the middle of nature at the western edge of Amsterdam? Probably you would, but what if I told you that back in the olden days, this place used to be an ammunition depot? Luckily for us, nowadays it is a diverse cultural business park where sustainability, arts, craft, culture and entrepreneurship merge into a creative hotspot. The perfect place for MozFest 2021, right?
Yes, thanks for tuning in to the second episode of MozFest Studio. Day 2 of MozFest is on its way and already many sessions have taken place in all of the spaces. Over 5,000 participants are joining the festival at this moment and we love to see all the enthusiasm and participation from everyone around the world. So we could not have kicked off the first day any better. And because you guys are not in Amsterdam with us in real life, sadly, but we do want you guys to get to know our country a little bit, I have a nice Dutch word for you today to chew on. It is the Dutch translation of for AI, kunstmatige intelligentie. So say it with me, everybody. Kunstmatige intelligentie. Okay, let's see if our guests for today are able to get this out of their throats. Go! Here are some important updates for you to know. Make sure to join common spaces in spatial chat. This is the place where you can hang out, join conversations dedicated to spaces, as well as join social gatherings, parties, you name it. So how do you check it out? Well, you go to the MozFest Plaza and click on social on the left side of the page. Then you scroll down to common spaces and click on let's hang out. Then you just create your avatar and the party can begin. So make sure you do that. Moving on to something very exciting. We've got a little present for you. Yeah! If you want to celebrate in style by adding some MozFest flair to your Zoom background, we've created a few cool looking backgrounds which you can download and customize the way you like it. So for me it would look something like this. Nice, huh? So yeah, if you'd like that, it's available through mozilla.la/backgrounds. Go! So I'm sure you would like to know what happened since we saw you last. So let me highlight one of the many sessions that happened in the last few hours. The Mozilla session, Add Transparency and Access for Researchers. What are platforms hiding? Brought together those interested in discussing how online advertisements can be made more transparent. And now in the Zoom call, we have facilitator Pip McDonald and facilitator Fernanda Perez Gai Juarez from Canada. Hello guys, thanks for joining us today. Lovely to see you're using the backgrounds, looking very, very sharp today. Can you say for me one time, kunstmatige intelligentie?
Kunstmatige intellectie.
Nice, very nice. And you?
Kunstmatige intelligentie.
Wow, applause. Very nicely done. Hey Pip, you guided your participants through the creation and recording of a new story using prompts and frames in the AI wellness space. Were you pleased with the story endings that came out of your session?
Definitely. It's always really exciting to lead a collaborative digital storytelling session. It was really interesting to see what ideas people had. At one point, we came up with the idea of an AI president. So it was really useful to explore those ideas. We used things like story cubes and visual metaphors and multimodal prompts. And we also used a really interesting AI tool called For AI.
Nice, yeah, because I've read that the main character in the story is an AI character. So could you tell us a little bit,
definitely.
like, what is its name, what happens with it, or should we,
Yeah.
for that, have to join the session?
Oh no, definitely. You can contribute outside in an asynchronous capacity. So the main character was called Pindra, and I actually borrowed the main character idea from Brave New World. And Pindra was an AI system that led a dystopian society. So we kind of talked about her world and what she did for work, and how what a home was like and what work was like in the year 3000. So it was really exciting to kind of ideate and iterate together to kind of build this world of an AI character and what kind of rights she had. It was really exciting.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a good basis for interesting stories. Fernanda, you talked with your participants about creativity in the brain in the neurodiversity space. Neuroscience sounds a bit like a complicated topic. Were the participants able to demystify brain science in the session today? Because that was one of the goals.
Yeah, well, I hope they did. We would have to ask participants. I think there was a lot of engagement. The discussion became very interesting. I was very glad to see like very diverse faces. I even had like 3 girls that I think they were around 10 years old.
Wow.
And were joining us from Nepal. So I was kind of nervous because I do science communication, but sometimes I would use terms, you know, like cognitive neuroscience, and like, what does a 10-year-old know
To a
about it?
10-year-old.
But I mean, we try to go back to the basics, you know, explain what is neuroscience, what is it that neuroscientists do, and like everything, like what's a neuron, it's a cell and it has wires, and biological wires connects to other neurons. So I think that at least they learned something, and they were excited about it because they were asking a lot of questions and engaging a lot in the discussion. So I can
Nice.
say that.
Well, it sounds like it was great. And Pip, do you think AI could learn to be as creative as the human brain can be?
Oh, that's a very difficult question. Well, if Picasso programmed a robot, perhaps we'd get a very creative result.
Yeah, but so it's possible, right? But it's not something that AI is doing right now, or is it already in the trenches?
I think we are doing, it depends how we define creativity, isn't it? If creativity is something original, can AI simply just repeat something that's already been created or create something new? It depends how we sort of define creativity and how we understand it culturally.
Fernanda, what do you think about that? Is it something that you think the robots can beat us on? Or are the humans the most creative?
Well, that's definitely a very polemic question. As Pip said, sometimes some of the characteristics that we attribute to algorithms come, like algorithms in AI, actually come from the people that program them, right? So far, we have some examples that have approached this kind of like creativity algorithm, like kind of like the Deep Dream Google algorithm, where you like input the picture, and using convolutional neural networks, it goes through it and kind of projects some images on top, and it kind of looks like kind of hallucinogenic art, you know, like psychedelic art.
Nice. So it's happening already.
Yeah, I think that's been done by Google since a couple years, but there's a whole philosophical discussion of if that's really creative, or it's just, you know, repeating patterns that can be like aesthetically pleasing or aesthetically interesting. So as Pip said, it depends a lot on how we define creativity.
Nice. Well, I think it's very interesting. I could talk with you for hours about this, but that's our time we have now. But thank you for filling us in on your sessions, and thank you for coming on the show.
Go.
Time to get social, because we've had a lot of tweets coming in. For example, this one from Rin Olivier. They had a wonderful time at MozFest in the neurodiversity session. And they say they love Mozilla, which is very sweet. I'm sure Mozilla loves you too. And Craig is looking forward to 12 days of MozFest. Very ambitious of you. Happy to hear that you're going in hardcore. Yeah, keep us updated on how that goes. And we have this lovely post from Sarah, our very own sketch artist, and she creates visual notes for different sessions on MozFest, and this is the first one she created, so amazing job, Sarah, thank you. And besides Twitter, we also have some nice comments on Slack. Kathy, for instance, she's handing out 7 pluses for the AI and Power opening. A very positive review, Kathy. Thank you for the positivity. And Arthur is joining for the 3rd time here at Mozilla. And he's located right here with us in the Netherlands, so that's nice to hear. Maybe see you around, Arthur. And we also love to see your enthusiasm shine through in pictures. So please show us from where you're participating. Something like this, so you can upload a photo on Twitter or Slack and show us your working space, how your space is looking. So let us know. Go. Yeah, so many sessions to attend, so little time. Which one do you choose? Well, to help you make that decision, we're talking to Julia Janssen, who has sessions planned starting from 7:15 until midnight. So if you like what you hear now, be sure to hop on for one of our sessions later tonight. Hello, Julia. Nice of you to take some time out of your busy schedule this week. Yeah, could you please briefly explain to us what your session is about?
Yes, of course. So I'm hosting a session called